Thank you all. Thank you, Mike. It's particularly significant for me to have you as part of this presentation and to be here with those of you who really lead in so many ways in research. An important time. I looked at the list of people who were being honored and wondered how in the world I made the list. I will say my good friend Tom Cole is coming later. We both got a little bit behind tonight for various reasons. You know, for Republicans, frankly, it's a fairly difficult committee. And if Tom Cole wouldn't have been in line to be the chairman on the other side of the building, I'm not sure that I wouldn't have resisted more to be the chairman on our side of the building. I will say, though, the gratification of what we've been able to do, particularly in health research, has been incredible for Tom and I both. 12 years without an increase is a long time. And I see Francis Collins out there who has absolutely convinced me that not only did they have no increase, but obviously the loss of what you could do with the money you had was about 20% over that 12 years. And you know, if everything is a priority, nothing is a priority. The education, labor, health and human services budget is a budget that has line after line that sound like they're really good things. But we eliminated 18 of them. We truly went through the process of deciding what was a priority so we could make this happen. So 18 programs got zeroed out. 23 new programs that the administration wanted to do didn't get done. But by doing that, we were able to have a 6.5% increase in this important line of health research. Now, interestingly, when we were able to make this increase, Congressman Cole and I, in separate interviews at the same time to different reporters, both said that we were absolutely committed that this not be a one-hit wonder, which may just be the way men like us talk. I don't know. But I do know that if you're going to establish a pattern, that year two really matters. So hopefully with your advocacy with my colleagues, with the response that we've had to this increase in healthcare research, that we'll step up once again and do things that allow this to become the norm rather than the exception. You know, as I'm talking to people about why this is important, I sort of say, really, there are really three incredibly significant reasons to do this. One, obviously, is for people and their families. People who would avoid having a health challenge that they otherwise would have had. People and families who were able to deal with that challenge in a better way because of the research you do. That item by itself should be plenty. But then I say, you know, number two, for taxpayers, if we don't figure out how to do something here, the future is going to overwhelm us. The projection at NIH for just Alzheimer's alone, not to mention ALS, not to mention cancer, not to mention autism, the projection for Alzheimer's alone is by 2050, we'd be spending $1.2 trillion just dealing with Alzheimer's. Now, I really don't know how much money $1.2 trillion is in today's dollars. That's the dollars we're talking about. But I do have a sense of how much it costs to defend the country, which is a little less than half of that. So if you want to put that thought in your mind as you leave here, by 2050, we'd be spending twice what we spend today for every military base, every plane, every uniform, every paycheck for every soldier, sailor, airman, Marine, reservist, and National Guard. We'd be spending twice that just on Alzheimer's. So clearly, finding something that reduces the onset time, finding something that becomes the reason that many people don't have to deal with that, and that's just that one, and obviously that one really significant thing. And the third thing is, that healthcare is going to dramatically change in the next decade and in the decade after that. And the country that leads the way in that change is also going to be the country that has the jobs and economic opportunity to relate to that change. Almost anybody can find one of those three things to hang on to and say, not only did you do this once, but you ought to do it again. So as you talk about this to my colleagues, I see Dick Durbin over there, and nobody has been more of an advocate for this. We had a hearing the other day and said, what we need to do is a 5% increase plus inflation as long as we can do it. And I see sitting right by him, Dr. Collins, the head of NIH, who says, you know, we went through that period that ended 12 years ago when the Congress was going to double NIH research. Let's not set that kind of goal again. Let's set a goal that means that we are constantly moving forward in this area that dramatically changes people's lives. And for what you do to change people's lives, somebody told me one time, when everybody in your family is well, you've got lots of problems. When somebody in your family is sick, you've got one problem. Thanks for what all of you do to help people deal with that one problem. Thank you all.